Have you ever pondered the possibility of time travel, or the existence of unsolved mysteries that defy our understanding of reality? Time travel has always been a captivating concept, as it challenges our perception of time and space. It's a theme that has been explored extensively in literature, movies, and television, sparking our collective imagination. From H.G. Wells' The Time Machine to the iconic Back to the Future trilogy, time travel has fascinated us, leading us to question the very nature of our existence. But what if this concept isn't just a figment of our imagination? What if it's more than just a plot device in science fiction? Theoretical physicists have proposed several theories that, although speculative, do not completely rule out the possibility of time travel. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, for instance, suggests that time is not absolute and that it can be manipulated under certain conditions. But let's shift gears for a moment. We're not just here to talk about time travel in the abstract. We're here to delve into the realm of unsolved mysteries, specifically those related to aviation. The skies have always been a source of fascination and wonder, but they also hold their share of mysteries. Disappearances, unexplained phenomena, flights that seemingly vanish into thin air. These stories have fueled countless conspiracy theories and debates. One such aviation mystery that has intrigued many is the story of Pan Am Flight 914. Pan Am Flight 914, a plane that was supposed to make a routine journey, instead embarked on a trip beyond comprehension. On a sunny day, July 2, 1955, the world bore witness to an unusual aviation event that still stirs curiosity and wonder. The story begins at a bustling New York airport. Passengers were boarding the Pan Am Flight 914, their tickets indicating a simple route from New York to Miami. This was a journey they had perhaps made multiple times before, a journey that should have been as ordinary as any other. Among those boarding were 57 passengers, their eyes filled with anticipation for their destination, a place famed for its sun-kissed beaches and vibrant nightlife. Accompanying them were 4 crew members, their faces radiating the professionalism and calm that are the hallmarks of Pan American World Airways. The captain, an experienced aviator, assured passengers of a smooth flight ahead, his voice echoing through the cabin over the hum of the engines. As the plane taxied down the runway, the chatter of the passengers slowly faded, replaced by the rumble of the engines roaring to life. The aircraft, a shining testament to human ingenuity and the marvels of modern technology, lifted off the ground and disappeared into the clear blue sky. From the ground, the sight was nothing short of majestic, a metal bird soaring high, carrying within it dreams, hopes, and stories. Each passenger, each crew member carrying a piece of their world with them. A world they knew, a world they were comfortable in. Little did they know, this flight was to be far from ordinary. Their world was about to be turned upside down, their understanding of reality severely tested. For as they settled into their seats, anticipating a routine flight, they were unknowingly embarking on a journey that would take them not just from New York to Miami, but possibly beyond the realms of time and space. However, this seemingly ordinary flight would soon become anything but routine. Flight 914, in the middle of its journey, vanished without a trace. A moment that would forever be etched in the annals of aviation history. The plane, once a soaring symbol of human ingenuity, became a ghost, leaving behind nothing but a trail of questions and a sky filled with uncertainty. Imagine the scene in the air traffic control room when Flight 914 fell off the radar. The air, once filled with the hum of machinery and the rhythmic chatter of coordinates, turned eerily silent. The blip representing the aircraft blinked out, leaving a void on the radar screen. The controllers, seasoned professionals, were left shell-shocked, staring at the emptiness where Flight 914 should have been. Their voices echoed through the room, bouncing off the walls, repeating the chilling phrase, "Flight 914, do you read?" Immediately, a flurry of activity ensued. Search operations were launched, with rescue teams scouring the vast expanse of the ocean and the rugged terrain below the flight path. Aircraft took to the skies, ships cut through the waves, all in a desperate bid to find any trace of the missing plane. The world held its breath, hoping against hope for a sign, a signal, a piece of wreckage, anything that could explain the sudden disappearance. And yet, the most unsettling part of this entire ordeal was the silence. The deafening silence. There were no distress signals from the plane, no last-minute mayday calls. It was as if Flight 914 had simply decided to step off the stage of reality, leaving behind an audience that desperately yearned for an encore. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The search efforts, once a beacon of hope, gradually grew dim. Despite the tireless work of the search teams, the cutting-edge technology at their disposal, and the intense scrutiny of the world, Flight 914 remained elusive. Despite extensive search efforts, Flight 914 had seemingly disappeared into thin air. The world was left grappling with a mystery that seemed to defy all logic and understanding. The story of Flight 914 was far from over, but for now it seemed the plane had vanished, swallowed by the unforgiving void of the unknown. In a twist that defies explanation, Flight 914 re-emerged, but not in a way anyone could have anticipated. 30 years after vanishing without a trace, the plane made its unanticipated appearance in Caracas Airport, Venezuela in 1985. Imagine the shock of the air traffic controllers as they spotted an unidentified aircraft on their radar. A plane that wasn't scheduled, that wasn't expected, that shouldn't have been there at all. It was none other than the long-lost Pan Am Flight 914. The controllers, flabbergasted, tried to establish communication. The voice that answered was filled with static, but unmistakably from another era. The pilot, in a voice heavy with confusion, relayed his flight number and departure date, a date that was 3 decades past. The passengers, when they disembarked, were caught in a time they didn't recognize. They were men and women of the 50s, suddenly thrust into the world of the 80s. Their attire, their speech, their very demeanor was of a bygone era. They were confused, disoriented, scared. They clung to their luggage, their only tether to the world they knew, as they stepped into an alien landscape. Imagine their shock as they were told the year was 1985. 30 years had passed while they were in the air. 30 years vanished in the blink of an eye. The world they knew, the lives they had, were now a part of history. It was as if time had stood still for them, while the world outside had moved on. They were living anachronisms, relics of a time long gone. They had become passengers of a flight that had turned into a time machine. In an instant, Flight 914 had become a living paradox, a tangible ghost from the past. The reemergence of Flight 914 sparked a flurry of speculation and theories. The aftermath was a whirlwind, leaving everyone involved, from the passengers and crew to the investigators, in a state of bewilderment. Picture, if you will, the shock and confusion the passengers must have felt. They boarded a flight in 1955 and disembarked in a world nearly 4 decades in their future. The crew, equally puzzled, found themselves thrust into a world where their flight had become a legend, a ghost story in the annals of aviation. The investigation that followed was no less perplexing. Every aspect of the aircraft was scrutinized. The plane itself was in pristine condition, as if it had just rolled out of the factory. The fuel used, the flight logs, even the personal effects of the passengers were examined in minute detail. Yet nothing out of the ordinary was found. This only added fuel to the fire of speculation. It was as if the universe itself was playing a cosmic joke. Theories sprang up like wildflowers. Some suggested time travel, that Flight 914 had somehow slipped through a wrinkle in time and emerged in the future. Others proposed the idea of parallel universes, that the plane had crossed into another reality and then back again. There were even those who whispered of alien intervention, though this was largely dismissed as fanciful conjecture. Experts were brought in from all over the world. Physicists, aviation specialists, even parapsychologists had a go at unraveling the mystery. They pored over the data, conducted experiments, and held countless discussions, but despite their best efforts, no conclusive explanation was ever found. And so, the theories continued to swirl. Some were debunked, others gained traction, but none could conclusively explain the enigma of Flight 914. The passengers and crew, meanwhile, were left to grapple with the reality of their situation. They had become unwilling participants in one of the greatest mysteries of our time. Yet, despite all the speculation and investigation, the mystery of Pan Am Flight 914 remains unsolved. So, what really happened to Pan Am Flight 914? We've journeyed through the enigmatic tale of this flight, from its puzzling departure in 1955 to its inexplicable disappearance and its mysterious reappearance 37 years later. We've explored the aftermath, the theories, the questions that remain unanswered. This story, shrouded in mystery, leaves us pondering the vastness of the unknown. It's a narrative that defies logic, challenges our understanding of time and space, and ignites our curiosity. The passengers and crew of Flight 914 stepped onto a plane in one era and disembarked in another, with no knowledge of the time that had passed, a mystery that remains unresolved. As we continue to unravel the enigma of this flight, we are reminded of the profound mysteries that exist, waiting to be discovered. As we continue to probe the mysteries of time and space, the story of Pan Am Flight 914 serves as a reminder of the endless possibilities that exist beyond our current understanding.